It's like I've never done this before. Sorry. The usual question: where do we stand with Derrick Jones Jr. as far as his availability potentially for tomorrow?
Better. We'll find out for sure tomorrow. He was able to go through the walkthrough part of practice today.
And any other lingering things, or I know Gabe still has the knee, and KZ apparently is out again. Anything else there?
No.
Okay. Thank you, Erik.
You're welcome.
Cooper Moorhead.
No way, Cooper.
So just speaking quickly about Bam's role as like the hub of the offense, I'm curious, what benefit had there been to him earlier in his, I know it's a 3-year career, but him having worked handoffs with Wayne Ellington and pick and rolls with Dwayne Wade, does him having spent 2 years of his career with veterans to work those actions, and now how he's passing that knowledge down to guys like Duncan and Tyler?
Yeah, it's, I think, just part of his overall development. He's put in development in virtually every aspect of the game, but I vividly remember how many times Wayne and he would work through different variations of that handoff and how teams were playing Wayne and how teams were playing Bam. And they would do that after practice, before practice. And then before the game, when I would come out on the bench, I would always see them working through those nuances. And then when we reacquired Dwayne, it was very similar with those two. So when you have veteran guys that help build your IQ as a young player and you're open to it and you really are eager to learn, well, it really fast tracks your IQ and your feel for different subtle nuances of how defenses try to stop that.
So Andre alluded to the fact that it hasn't been difficult to get that pre-playoff fervor at all for the group with preparation and just obviously the character of the desire for competition that you talk about so much with this group.
Yeah.
How pleasing is it that the irregularity of time and place has not stifled that whatsoever?
It's almost just, it really is an incredible environment, Jax. We're so grateful that we have this opportunity to take part in the playoffs, the ultimate competition. And we have the right veteran leadership, starting with UD and Jimmy and Jay and Andre. This time of year is so important to them. And then you add to the fact that we are in an environment where it's easier to focus on the game and the team with less distractions. And then you are seeing the competition on TV all the time, all the games that are going on. This is just a terrific time if you're a competitor.
Anthony Chang.
Hey, Spo, you kind of touched on it there, but you guys have had Udonis for a while now, obviously, but you add Andre. To have two guys like that with deep playoff experience, how advantageous is that entering this with a somewhat young roster still?
Well, that's one of the big reasons why Pat made this move. We have great veteran built-in leadership, guys with veteran experience, and then we have this exuberance of youth, the guys that haven't been here, but we rely on them. So you need the right kind of experienced veterans that have played deep into the playoffs, and that's why we so highly sought after not only Andre but Jay and even Solo. They bring what we felt we needed with our young group, in addition to Jimmy and UD and Gorn.
Hey, Erik, since piggybacking on this theme about youth and experience, tell us about your first head coaching playoff game, 2009. Any difference for you right at the start?
Yeah, obviously it's overwhelming when you're a young coach. But I will never forget that 7-game series. Particularly when we had a chance to go up 3-1 when we went back to Miami, and maybe close that out in Game 6. It was a great series. Not that I still think about those losses. I just ruined my afternoon.
Glad I could help. Thanks.
Erik Reed.
Coach, obviously Indiana is different without Sabonis. They've overcome their rebounding deficiencies to still win. I'm curious about Nate McMillan talked about Justin Holiday and Edmund Sumner yesterday being his chasers, and that they defend the threes and perimeter players well. Talk about their new look defense and what you guys have to do against the type of defense they're playing right now.
It is different because of the speed and quickness that they're playing with on the perimeter instead of the big, rugged front line that they had during the course of the year. So they speed teams up. They force you into mistakes. And they're top 3 in steals and turnovers forced in the bubble because of that speed. So you have to take care of the ball. You have to make sure you're rock solid, getting the ball where it needs to go without mistakes, because once they get in the open court, that's where they're at their best off those turnovers. I think it's just been interesting that they've been able to pivot and adjust due to the injuries and Sabonis being out.
Hi, Spo. What do you think about the United in Black campaign and continuing to carry that over into the playoffs and making sure that once again our organization is in the forefront of being a part of this social movement?
Yeah, it is important, and it's the pledge that we made weeks ago that this was not going to be a short-term thing, that we wanted to partner with local groups, and we've selected those 3 local organizations that we think can impact change and we can be a part of sustainable, lasting change. Ultimately, this is going to take a lot of effort and time. And we want to be part of the solution. And this keeps the conversation going. And we want to continue to use our platform to be able to help, for sure.